Today, we are talking cucumbers and we're talking terminology and common misconceptions. Might seem like a simple fruit, just a pickle, cucumber, but it's much more than that. So, when we talk cucumbers, what are important terms people need to really understand to get the full depth of this space?
First, I'll go over the real simple terms that people should know with other fruit. Variety. A variety is a type or form of crop. It could be with cucumbers, let's say cucumis sativus, a regular cucumber. There's different types. There's lemon cucumbers and other cucumbers, and then there's cucumbers in the wild, and they could be different varieties out there versus a cultivar is a domesticated variety of cucumber that's been produced by selective breeding. And then there's other terms that are common with other vegetables and seeds like hybrid and open pollinated and heirloom. So a hybrid is two different genetically different parents put together, and that first generation is often called the hybrid or the F1. And then open pollinated, it's where you don't have a hybrid. It's just one variety, one cultivar that you're working with. The resultant seed will be the same as the mother fruit or the parent fruit, and that's open pollinated. Most of what I work with is open pollinated, and just a subset of open pollinated is if they've been around for a while, they're heirloom or heritage. Those have been grown for a length of time in an area, have some kind of historic value for family, community, or region. And most organizations have a criteria, like if Seed Savers or whatever, they have a criteria for what open pollinated can be classified as an heirloom. So those are just general terms, not specific to cucumbers, but it helps with some more kind of sets up the rest of what I'll be talking about. And fruit set is when the flower develops into a fruit. The ovary of a female flower develops into a fruit, because this is really important because we could be talking about fruit set. It usually occurs within days of the flower pollination. You'll start to see the flower, for example, on a cucumber. They have different flowers. They have the male flowers, which are the smaller ones, and they have the female flowers, which are look like the male flowers, but then they've got this little baby cucumber underneath. And that little baby cucumber, if the flower is pollinated properly, it will start to grow. And once it starts to grow, oh, that's set. That it is set. And so it's starting to develop into a fruit. And then one more general term that I'll talk about here is selection. Selection is the process of choosing plants with desirable traits with the goal of perpetuating those traits through successive generations. So that's mostly what I do. I don't hybridize. I don't do any of my own varieties other than through selection. So no breeding for me other than selection. So cucumbers, most of them, they're something called monoecious or monoecious. They have the male flowers and then they have the female flowers, and they're separate and distinct from each other, and they're on the same plant. So the fruit set occurs, so that little female flower becomes a fruit when pollen's transferred from the male to the female flower. And generally, you'll see on monoecious plants, you'll see the male flowers appear first, and they're usually like about 10 or more. They may be there for a week or two before you start to see the female flowers, and then you'll start to see the female flowers. And sometimes I've heard it said there's about 10 male flowers for every female flower. It's just a general guide for the monoecious cucumber varieties.
So,
And
so
then,
more male flowers than females on a given plant. And how easy is it to tell the difference? I know you mentioned there's a little cucumber under the female version. Is that trained eye has to see that, or can anybody pretty much spot that?
yeah, anybody can. And how you do it is you just keep looking at the flowers. And when you see one that's different, you say, oh, why is it? How is it different? You just see, oh, under there, between the stem and the flower, there's this little fruit. It could be round if it's a round cucumber. It could be long if it's a long cucumber. It just depends. So yeah, but you can tell. You can definitely tell. But a lot of people are really concerned. Oh, I don't have any cucumbers. I don't have any cucumbers, and I have all these flowers. Generally, it takes about a week or two before you'll see any female flowers at all. And then if you go 3 or more weeks, then maybe you're over fertilizing with high nitrogen fertilizer. You may need to back off on that. You may need some phosphate, but I wouldn't go there to begin with. It's easy to put too much phosphate in your soil or too much of something in your soil. It's always better to back off on something first before coming to those conclusions, unless you're using some kind of bag mix from the big box stores. Sometimes those are pretty much devoid of nutrients, so that not for the specific purpose of, but it goes hand in hand with, oh, now you need fertilizer for this plant because you bought soil that doesn't have any nutrients in it, or it gets used up quickly. So another term here we have is parthenocarpic. So parthenocarpic are really misunderstood. So I'll explain it very simply. Parthenocarpic means when a female flower produces fruit without pollination. So let's say you have the male flower, you have the female flower, you have no bee. Nobody's transferring any of that pollen over, but that female flower ends up setting, it ends up growing and becoming a fruit. This results in a fruit that's either seedless or has non-viable empty seeds. Parthenocarpic fruit is not self-pollinating. So that's one of the big misconceptions is people ask me all the time, hey, do you know of any self-pollinating cucumbers? Because I want to grow it in a greenhouse or this or that. There's no self-pollinating cucumbers that I know. There's one that I'm going to test out next year to see if it's even close. But generally speaking, any kind of cucumber requires intervention to be able to produce seed. So pollination is required to set seed. And one thing about parthenocarpic cucumbers is they're much harder to get seed out of. And the reason why is they can grow that fruit and they don't require a bee to go back and forth. And they can even, some of them will even produce a full-size fruit without the flower even opening up, which means you're going to get no seed from that fruit. Yeah, if you really like a cucumber variety and it's open pollinated, but it's parthenocarpic, then you have a lot of work in front of you to even get any seeds. So you just have to really watch it to make sure that pollination occurs if you want to get any seed from a variety that's both open pollinated and parthenocarpic. A lot of people believe that parthenocarpic varieties have to be hybrid because they can set fruit without that pollination. But even though they don't need it, they can set seed if they're pollinated.
Okay,
You look like you have a question. Go ahead.
I'm trying to get this straight in my head. So parthenocarpic doesn't require pollination to produce fruit.
Right.
And it's not self-pollinating because a self-pollinating plant means it's not parthenocarpic and it can pollinate itself.
Right. Let's say a tomato plant has a perfect flower. I'll get into this. Here's another term, hermaphrodite. A hermaphrodite flower is a perfect flower, meaning that it has both male and female reproductive organs on the same flower. Like a tomato plant, like the other nightshades, there's other flowers like that. For cucumber melon flowers that are hermaphrodites, they still require pollination to set seed. No matter what kind of cucumber variety you have, if it has both male and female flowers, there is pollination required to set seed. And if there's no male flowers and you're dealing with just female flowers, you don't get any seed. So a lot of hybrid varieties can be like that, where you're not going to get any seed. Yeah, we can talk about that term in a minute here.
Sure.
You look like you had another question.
No, that's good.
Okay. No, that's okay. On tomatoes have all perfect flowers, but with cucumbers, you can have the perfect flowers and you can also have the male flowers on the same plant. And those are called, the term for that is andromonecyous. And that's just a term there. You'll probably never use it except for in this context, but that's just one of those fun ones out there. One of the terms that I was getting to, this will probably be one of the last ones here, is gynoecious. Now, these are really big in the hybrid community. And the reason for this is because these plants have no male flowers. They only have female flowers on the plant. Truly gynoecious plants have no male flowers. So the benefit to this is that the vines are more productive by putting all their energy into the plant and fruit production. So they're just growing either the leaves and vines or the fruit, no male flowers. The drawback is that the grower will always need to purchase seed from the supplier because the fruit won't produce seed. Um, some gynoecious varieties still require fruit to set, and some don't. So some are parthenocarpic and some aren't. With those that do require pollination, the seed company includes another variety that has a lot of male flowers that produces male flowers at the same time the female flowers come out so that they can set fruit. One misconception about monoecious varieties is, in a lot of cucumber varieties, is that they're better without pollination. There's even this thing on Google. You Google, why are my cucumbers bitter? One of the things they say is, oh, because they're pollinated. And this is completely untrue. There's been multiple studies about whether even these gynoecious varieties that only have female flowers, whether they produce better with or without a pollinator, and they always produce better with a pollinator. That, I guess, that diverse genetic ingredient with being pollinated always produces better fruit. Now, it won't produce seedless fruit. Some of the gynoecious and parthenocarpic varieties produce seedless fruit, especially gynoecious. But if you want bigger fruit or better shaped fruit, always having a pollinator actually helps with that. So more marketable, I should say, unless you're not wanting seed.
I'm following along here.
No, you're fine. I
Does
think
that
that's it. I think that's it for that part. Yeah.
okay?
So those are just general terms for cucumbers
Okay.
that will build on whatever else I talk about later.
So that lays the foundation for terminology, clears up a few little misconceptions about everything we'll be talking about in this series. Don't worry, they're not all this deep in the terminology, but this is important to understand what's coming next. So join us next episode.